After the Russian Figure Skating Championship ended, the next major tournament in the Russian figure calendar for December is the National Championship. Traditionally, this tournament before the New Year holidays is the center of attraction for fans. But here's the question, if there was no Queen of Quads Sasha Trusova at the Russian Jumping Championship, then in what condition will figure skater Alexandra Trusova arrive at the main start of the season at the end of December in Krasnoyarsk? Immediately after the Olympics ended and the whole world saw the legendary Sasha's tantrum in Beijing, the question arose in full growth, what will happen next with her career? After all, in fact, the story of Zhenya Medvedeva from the 2018 Olympics was repeated. Then she became the second and, as it turned out later, emotionally she was also not in balance after the disappointment from the title of vice champion of the Olympic Games. And only in the fall, the pattern of actions that was in the last post-Olympic season, was launched by Alexandra. But only if Medvedev left Krustelny with a scandal, then Sasha, after the test skates with programs ready for the season, simply took it and went to a new coach. That is, the skater wants new successes, but with a new coach. But only if Medvedeva had a desire to prove to everyone along the way. Then in the fall of 2022 it is clear that Trusova is simply enjoying her new role. Alexandra Trusova did not come to the Russian Championship in jumping elements, because, obviously, she is still not Trusova at maximum speed. After all, for sure, for example, having joined the Plushenko team and having won and then winning the personal tournament, Sasha would again remind of himself. But so far, everything is not easy for the skater. It is not easy to switch to a new coach, it is not easy to regain confidence in quad jumps, and in a large number of quads within the same program. Therefore, Trusova was not in St. Petersburg. And what will happen next? She definitely does not plan to leave the sport, just as her lover Mark Kondratyuk does not plan any vacation. Therefore, at the Russian Championship in Krasnoyarsk, Trusova's performance already under the leadership of Svetlana Sokolovskaya is one of the brightest upcoming intrigues of the tournament. Several years ago, at a tournament in Krasnoyarsk, after an unsuccessful run with quads, Alexandra sobbed on the shoulder of a Terry Tutberidze. But now, it seems, make a mistake, Sasha will just smile sweetly at everyone, realizing that she showed her maximum at the beginning of 2022, and now she is working for the future with a coach whom she fully trusts. There are many examples when a top skater who left Krustelny was then easily lost with a new coach. Yulia Lipnitskaya, Evgenia Medvedeva passed through this path, and Polina Shelepin went along the same path as Sasha, leaving a Terry Tutberidze to Svetlana Sokolovskaya. So now, before the Russian Championship for Trusova and her coach, the performance at the tournament appears to be an important exam. In the case of successful training and a set of forms for the tournament, Trusova will be able to become the Queen of Quads again, then for her and for the coach this will be a real victory. Svetlana Sokolovskaya will get more points in her piggy bank as a new powerful coach. Alexandra will once again prove that it is too early to write her off and no new young star can take away her title from her. A Terry Tutberidze tells his skaters that, having stepped off the podium after winning the competition, you again become a nobody. Because you need to work in training and achieve further success. But after Sasha Trusova left the podium at the Beijing Olympics and suddenly left to Terry Georgievna in the fall, her career goes in one direction, down. And only in the power of Alexandra herself to reverse this situation by performing at the Russian Championship. For if this does not work out, then history will simply repeat itself again along the same trajectory. The figure skater who left to Terry Tutberidze from Krustelny no longer wins resounding victories. British lawyer Arthur Graham may become a lawyer for the Russian anti-doping agency, REFUSED, in the Court of Arbitration for Sport, CAS, in the case of figure skater Kamila Valieva. It is reported by TASS. Graham can become a lawyer for REFUSED when considering Valieva's case at CAS, the source said. Graham is on the classification committee of the International Paralympic Committee. Previously, he represented the interests of REFUSED and CAS in a number of other cases. He is also a member of the working and monitoring groups of the Council of Europe and UNESCO. Recall, on November 14, CAS registered the appeal of the World Anti-Doping Agency, WADA, in the case of violation of Voliva's anti-doping rules. The statement said that REFUSED did not meet the deadlines for considering the figure skater's case. The International Skating Union, ISU, has included Russian figure skater Anna Shcherbakova in the promo video for the annual ISU Skating Awards. At the 2022 Winter Olympics in Beijing, China, which took place in February, Anna Shcherbakova was ahead of compatriot Alexandra Trusova and Japan's Kaori Sakamoto, who finished second and third respectively. Russian Kamila Valieva took fourth place in this tournament, becoming the Olympic champion in the team tournament before this. Recall that in August, 18-year-old Anna Shcherbakova was operated on in Germany due to a torn posterior horn of the meniscus. Recently, the athlete returned to training. Note that earlier ISU did not include the figure skater in the photo selection of the winners of the 2022 Olympic Games. The Executive Committee of the International Olympic Committee, IOC, at the next meeting upheld the recommendations on the application of sanctions against Russian and Belarusian sports due to the situation in Ukraine. The position has not changed. The protective measures that have been in place since February remain in force. Now it would be wrong to go into details. As IOC President Thomas Bach said earlier, now is not the time to lift sanctions against Russia and Belarus, TASS quotes IOC Communications Director Mark Adams. It should be noted that in mid-November, IOC President Thomas Bach, in an address to the leaders of the G20 countries at the summit in Bali, stated the need for participation in the Olympic Games of all countries, including those in conflict. Also at that summit, the head of the IOC emphasized that politics should remain neutral in relation to sport. Two-time world champion in women's single skating, Evgenia Medvedeva, posted footage from a new photo shoot on social networks. In the pictures, Medvedev poses in an elegant floor-length dress and pearl beads. In a pink dress, Medvedev signed the photo. After the 2018 Winter Olympics, Medvedev, who won the silver medal, left to train in Canada with Brian Orser, but before the 2020-2021 season she returned to the Atari Tutberidze group. Since then, the Russian athlete has not competed. 23-year-old Evgenia Medvedeva is graduating, working on television and participating in ice shows. In the last season of the Ice Age show, Medvedeva's partner, blogger Danya Milikin, unexpectedly left the program. He was replaced by actor Fyodor Fedotov.